Hi, I'm here with the last installment of our chapter book, Mercy Watson to the Rescue. So we had read up until chapter 10, and in the last chapter that we read, if you remember, Mr. and Mrs. Watson got rescued by the fire department before their bed fell through, and Mr. Watson said, "Oh yeah, thanks to Mercy for contacting the fire department." And we were saying, wait a second, we know that it wasn't Mercy, right? It was the next door neighbor, Eugenia Lincoln. And then we also remember that Eugenia, the last we had left, Eugenia Lincoln was chasing Mercy in the yard. And they ended this chapter by Eugenia yelling, "Gotcha!" And we said, ooh, think about what could be happening out in the yard. So now we're on chapter 10. I'm going to go ahead and show you the picture so you can see. Look. You see why Eugenia yelled, "Gotcha"? She did catch Mercy, but it looks like she's asleep on Mercy. Ned and Lorenzo and Mr. and Mrs. Watson all went outside. Eugenia was sitting on the ground. Her arms were wrapped around Mercy's neck. Her cheek was resting on Mercy's back. Eugenia was breathing very loudly. "This pig," she said, "was on my property." "We prefer that you did not call her a pig," said Mrs. Watson. "We prefer you call her a porcine wonder," said Mr. Watson. "After all, she did save us. She's a hero." "She's a pig," said Eugenia. And then Eugenia started to cry. "There, there, sister," said Baby. She bent over and patted Eugenia on the back. So there they all are outside. Firefighters, Mr. and Mrs. Watson, Mercy, of course, Eugenia, and Baby. Mercy yawned. She was very tired. "I guess that's it," said Lorenzo. "Yep," said Ned. "Our work here is done." "Wait," said Mrs. Watson. "It's almost time for breakfast." "Oink?" asked Mercy. "That's right, breakfast," said Mrs. Watson. She kissed the top of Mercy's head. She looked up at the firemen. "Do you boys like toast?" And do you remember who we found out who likes toast? That's the end of that chapter. We're on chapter 11 now. In the Watsons' house, around the Watsons' kitchen table, sat Eugenia and Baby, Mr. Watson, Mrs. Watson, Ned, and Lorenzo, and Mercy, of course. She was at the head of the table in the seat of honor, and in front of her, on her favorite blue plate, was a very tall stack of hot buttered toast. Look at all that toast Mercy's going to get. "A toast to Mercy," said Mr. Watson, holding up a glass of orange juice. "A toast to our darling, our dear," said Mrs. Watson. "A toast to Mercy," said Baby. And there they all are, sitting around the table. I definitely see a lot of toast. "In my opinion," said Eugenia, "pigs should not be toasted. In my opinion, pigs do not belong at the kitchen table." "To our hero," said Mr. Watson. "Where would we be without Mercy?" "Yes," said Mrs. Watson. "Who would have saved us?" "I can't imagine," said Ned. "Me neither," said Lorenzo. They all clinked their glasses, and Mercy had another piece of toast. That's so silly. Mercy didn't save them. So that's the end of that chapter. We're on the very last chapter, chapter 12. Outside the Watsons' house, the sun was rising. First the sun was red, and then it was orange. It rose higher and higher. Inside the Watsons' house, Mercy was lying on the couch. She was getting ready to take a nap. Look, their pig even lays on the couch. Bright, bright is the morning sun, sang Mr. and Mrs. Watson together. But brighter still is our porcine wonder. Mercy smiled. She closed her eyes. She was asleep before Mr. and Mrs. Watson could even finish the song. And that is how the story of Mercy Watson to the Rescue ends. I hope you enjoyed it, friends. It's one of my favorite chapter books. And just let you know, if you did like it, the author, Kate DiCamillo, wrote several chapter books with Mercy in them. And they all make me smile. I enjoy them all. So you can find these in the library if you're interested. So enjoy the rest of your time, friends. Until then, see ya.